So welcome back everybody to 31 Days of Horror, and we're on our 14th day, and today we're looking at 1983's Christine, based on a novel by Stephen King, clocking in at 110 minutes long. It's a supernatural horror that was made on a budget of $10 million and made at the box office $21 million. And it's directed by John Carpenter, who did many great horror films: Halloween, The Thing, The Fog, In the Mouth of Madness, and Prince of Darkness, as well as They Live, Assault on Precinct 13, and Big Trouble in Little China. And after They Live, after The Thing, which wasn't a particularly big box office draw, as it cost 15 million and made little under 20 million. I'm sure John Carpenter was pleased that this at least made more than twice its budget back. And this film's premise is a geeky student, Arnie Cunningham, falls for Christine, a rusty 1958 Plymouth Fury, and becomes obsessed with restoring the classic automobile to her former glory. As the car changes, so does Arnie, whose newfound confidence turns to arrogance behind the wheel of his exotic beauty. Arnie's girlfriend, Lee, and best friend, Dennis, reach out to him only to be met by a fury like no other. So, it's basically like a weird combination between killer car movie and Possession, because Arnie is slowly getting possessed by Christine as she's controlling him, making him, like they said, more confident, but also more aggressive, more arrogant, and he's really taking over his whole personality. As before he meets the car, he's really rather shy, really rather nerdy, and not got all that much confidence in the world. But after he gets the car, his whole personality changes, and that is because he's getting possessed. But the car itself is also a killer car, because it also takes revenge on anyone who damages it, insults it, or anything like that. So but despite this not being John Carpenter's best directorial effort, it is certainly one of the more fun Stephen King adaptations, as a lot of his films are a lot more serious, especially in terms of the ones that have been adapted without his control. Maximum Overdrive was a bit of a cocaine-induced extravaganza, but most of his films, books that have been adapted, should I say, have been on the more serious side. You look at The Shining, or Stand By Me, or Shawshank Redemption, they're all a lot more serious, whereas this is a bit more playful and a little bit more fun, which I really rather quite appreciate. And this is thanks to a solid pacing, a superb score soundtrack, really well shot action, practical effects that still look great today. Basically, when the car is been crushed and damaged or whatever like that, they basically had hydraulic presses to push the body panels back out. And I think they did some reverse shots as well, so they smashed it in and then they just reversed the shot itself. So the effects all look really rather good, even now, nearly 40 years later. The lead characters you get invested in due to the really nicely well written script, and the plot that may well stray into schlock territory at times is nonetheless still entertaining. Maybe because it is also quite schlocky in areas. So like I said, the action is also really good. It's got some explosive action scenes, really rather tense end scene as well, where the car Christine is being trying to stopped by a digger driven by our protagonist. And it's just overall, I say digger, more like a bulldozer, but still, it's a really, really fantastic film. I've not seen much from the cast outside of this, so that's why I've not really commented on them. But you do have the likes of Keith Gordon, John Stockwell, and Alexandra Paul in the lead roles. But you also have supporting roles by Harry Dean Stanton, who's a bit of a cult icon. He was also in Repo Man, which is a really rather decent film as well. But I do love this film, and it's easily one of my favourite films centred around a car. There have been other killer car films like the Hearse, or The Ambulance, and The Car, literally just called The Car. But this is definitely the best of that bunch, quite frankly, because it gets the horror right, but it also gets the action scenes right, and it's also got really good characters, and overall the production is really solid. So he's one of my favourites of John Carpenter, even if it isn't quite as good as, say, The Thing, They Live, or Halloween. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.